Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
A terminally ill man has begun a legal fight for the right to help for him to die. Noel Conway, who's 67, has motor neurone disease and says he fears becoming entombed in his own body as his muscles gradually weaken. Mr. Conway, who's being backed by the campaign group Dignity in Dying, wants a doctor to be able to prescribe a lethal dose when his health deteriorates further. The case will be the first High Court challenge since MPs rejected an attempt to introduce assisted dying in 2015. Our medical correspondent Fergus Walsh has this exclusive report.
My name is Noel Conway. I have motor neurone disease. It's incurable and terminal. I fear very soon I shall be entombed in my own body, and the thought of that fills me with absolute horror.
Got your lunch, love.
Oh, lovely.
Beans on toast, as requested.
Day by day, Noel Conway is gradually losing all strength in his body.
Just want a bit of toast.
Increasingly, he relies on his wife, Carol. He's too weak to take his own life, so when his condition gets worse, he wants a doctor to be allowed to give him a lethal dose.
Okay.
It's my body. I have a right to die. I have a right to determine how I should die, and more importantly, when I should die. And I want to do so when I have a degree of dignity remaining to me.
Noel often relies on a ventilator to help him breathe. He's registered with the Swiss suicide group Dignitas, but will soon be unable to travel. So he's challenging the law here.
Our current law condemns people like me to unimaginable suffering. I mean, I don't have acute pain. I'm just heading really on a slow, slippery slope to hell.
Noel was a keen walker, climber and skier. His family support his right to die, but don't want to play a part in his death.
It places me in an intolerable position. I can't help him to end his life. That would not be possible. I can't do that. I wouldn't want to do that. We need the assistance of professionals, of medical staff, to ease that passing.
The courts have shown leniency with relatives involved in assisting a suicide, but campaigners, most recently Tony Nicholson, have never been able to persuade judges that doctors should be allowed to end a life.
Not to die.
This issue stirs huge passions, and when MPs last voted, they rejected a change in the law. So does that mean this latest High Court challenge is doomed to fail? While it is Parliament that makes the law, it is judges who interpret it. So when the case comes here, Noel Conway's legal team will seek a declaration that the current law is not compatible with his basic human rights to live and die with dignity. Under the 1961 Suicide Act, any doctor who helped end his life would face up to 14 years in prison. Baroness Jane Campbell has spinal muscular atrophy and has been close to death on several occasions. A disability rights campaigner, she says altering the law would send dangerous signals.
If the law were changed, it would feed into society's fear that to be severely disabled, to be trapped within your body, which I really practically am, is a state worse than death. It would be a huge burden to us. We already have to fight for the right to live. Please, don't help us for the right to die.
But that is exactly what Noel Conway wants. Canada and California have introduced assisted dying in the past year. Noel is determined it should happen here.
There we go. It's not a bad day, actually.
but knows he may run out of time before his case is settled.
Well, Fergus, Knowles is another challenge to the law on assisted dying, less than 2 years after the last one was rejected in 2015. What chances that this will be more successful this time?
Well, the campaign group Dignity in Dying, which is behind this, knows they've got no realistic hope of changing the law to introduce assisted dying through Parliament. MPs roundly rejected that 2 years ago, and that included all the safeguards that they wanted, that 2 doctors and a High Court judge would need to approve every case, and it would need to involve only terminally ill, mentally competent patients who had less than 6 months to live. So instead of now trying through MPs, through Parliament, they're putting those proposals in a real live case before judges to see what they make of it. Now, the last time this went up before the Supreme Court, 2 out of the 9 justices said they considered the current law incompatible with human rights. So this issue will be kept in the spotlight. It keeps the assisted dying campaign going. But those opposed will say, well, yes, have sympathy for people like Noel Conway, have compassion, but it's too dangerous to change the law.
Okay, Fergus, we shall see. Thank you.
I've been getting away with it all my